of raising children, our most valuable resource, has gone up. And so it's one more step in the billions of dollars that I think this governor and this team has taken care of. I'm thrilled today to have my speaker here, our speaker of the Georgia House, privileged that he's here today, that he put me on the Ways and Means Committee where we can address a lot of these things. We can work with our Senate colleagues, we can work with the governor's office, and we can bring these things in a wise measure to go forward. Thrilled to have those today. I'm love to recognize and welcome, help you welcome me to the greater Augusta area. He's no stranger to this area from down in Effingham County, our speaker, John Burns.
Well, good morning. Last time I checked, it's a great day to be a Georgian, Governor. It's a great day to be in the CSRA, Mayor, in the city of Augusta. Thank you for what this great city has done for our state. And that little party y'all had last week was pretty cool. And a pretty cool winter, too. I liked his acceptance speech at the end, in his remarks at the end. I think it speaks to the values of whom we all are and what we care about, what's important to us. So do appreciate Scotty and his remarks. And I'm going to take a point of personal privilege, if I may. I know I'm not supposed to, Governor, but I want to introduce my dear friend, your chief tax assessor here in Richmond County, Scott Roundtree. There he is right there. So y'all, Scott's dad and I grew up together down in Effingham County, spent a lot of time together at Georgia Southern. His dad had a very distinguished career in business and in Georgia and around the country, and we lost him way too early, but a dear, dear friend, Kerry Roundtree. Scott, it's good to see you, and a good family man himself. So, hey, look, Georgia's got it going on, and we have it going on because we have a great team. Thanks to those great announcements this morning, we care about public safety. We care about the people of Georgia, and you do a great job of enforcing that law. Commissioner King, thank you for what we're all working on continuously is to reduce insurance rates and provide coverage for Georgians. Thank you for what you do, and thank you. No, I was supposed to put that on silent. They wouldn't even let me take this on the course last week. I'm not sure about that, and you've fallen down on the job here. Let me have it here. So it's a great day to be here. It's a great day for what's going on in this community and what's going on all over Georgia. That's because of great leadership. That's because of great teamwork. What's going on in the General Assembly with the leadership of Governor Kemp. I couldn't be prouder to be a Georgian than I have been and still am and will be in the future. A lot of good things here with health care going on in Augusta, and certainly the other great announcements you made today. And I see Jody Lott as well. Jody's not coming back to the General Assembly in 25. Jody, we appreciate your service as a member of the House. You've done great work, and we appreciate you. Number one place to come to a golf tournament. Number one place in this country in which to do business. Thank you, Governor and First Lady, for y'all's leadership and so many different people. But you know, that designation without the right policies is kind of a hollow victory. So the policies that have been adopted by the General Assembly of the leadership of the governor of this state have created that number one place in which to do business for 10 years now. But that's about looking out for our neighbors, looking out for the people of Georgia with good, conservative, common sense tax policy, development policy that's paying dividends. And it's ensuring that our young people have a place to find a good job, a good paying job in the days that come. And I know that's important to the governor as it is to the members of the House. So we're continuing to be focused on just doing just that, the quality of life. Is that Zane? That's Zane. First time, that's I'll tell you who Zane is in just a minute. But you know, I'm really proud of the work that we did. We had a great session, addressed many issues this session and in this 24 session in the General Assembly. And I'm really excited about the bills that have been placed on the governor's desk. He's been a great partner in helping shepherd those through the process and providing great ideas as we work towards great policy. So we're looking forward to, Governor. And I gave you my list last week when I spoke so highly of you about what I'd like to see be signed. And I added the First Lady's bills to those as well, too. So we've been talking about that a little bit. I want to talk about, and Chairman Newton, thank you for the introduction, and you're doing great work, and we appreciate what you do representing this community. You touched on several of the bills. I want to touch just on two of them. And those are important to all of us. And it's one of the reasons that we are enjoying a good quality of life, and we are enjoying business success from an economic development perspective, and continue to be the place that people want to come to. I hope all those folks that came here for the Masters, Mayor, some of them go back to where they came from, but I won't mention that. I met a couple of those folks. But it's good. It was good to have so many different folks. And Georgia is a pretty cool place to live. A lot of good things going on here. One of the bills I want to mention that the governor will sign was carried by one of his floor leaders, Representative Lauren McDonald. Lauren's here, and he's had a great career in public service to this state and in public safety as well. So we appreciate him. House Bill 1015 has been an ongoing effort of us realizing that we needed to reduce the income tax on Georgians. No, that day was just a couple of days ago, but it allows us to recognize the fact that we all believe deeply in that we as individuals can better make decisions on how we spend our dollars and how we invest our dollars than what government can. We know that is a priority. It will continue to be a priority in the House, and we're really excited to accelerate this reduction in our state income tax to 5.39%. That's strong. We're going in the right direction. We appreciate the governor's leadership in that area, and a lot of members of the House who are here from all over the state, Republicans and Democrats, that are here that have been a bipartisan effort to do some really good things for Georgians. I'm particularly excited about that. And one of the things I told you I'd introduce Zane Daniel. His father, Zach, is holding him, but another key component to our efforts in the House to ensure that quality of life is a part of whom we are, and it's a part of our fabric, and that's taking care of families, taking care of our young people. House Bill 1021 that was sponsored and carried by Lauren McDaniel, as she carried Zach. Y'all may have seen her from time to time in the well with Zane on her, in front of her, and look at him. He's a fine young man. He's got a great future, a great new Georgian. But it will increase the increase the child tax credit to allow young families to make investments with their time and their effort as they take care of an ever-increasing expense, and that's child tax care. We're focused on the young people in our state, whether it comes with education, when it comes to health, and that's very important here in Augusta, as we know it is, and how important this great place is to us across this state, and I would say around this country when it comes to health care. So we recognize that, and I'm most appreciative of that. I want to take care of a little piece of business here, and it's something I think we can all agree on. We have the very best First Lady in these United States of America, the First Lady of this state of Georgia. First Lady Marty Kemp, I beat you to the draw, didn't I, Governor? I'm still trying to get my bill signed, y'all. First Lady Marty Kemp is involved in so many worthwhile issues that improve the lives of Georgians. And I just want to say personally how much I appreciate what you've done for a grandfather of some granddaughters, and we appreciate you and your family and how you stick with the governor and support him. I think it clearly demonstrates to people not only here, but around this country, how important it is to have family leading and people that care about family values. Governor Brian Kemp has led this state through some tough times. He's done it with integrity, with forthrightness, transparency, and a commitment to what's important to the values, the basic values of all Georgians. I truly, truly believe that, and I truly know that his record clearly demonstrates that. He's got more work to do. There's no doubt about that, as we all do, as we continue to make Georgia the best place to live, work, and raise a family. So without further ado, the man that's led Georgia, is leading Georgia, and will lead Georgia, our 83rd governor, Governor Brian Kemp.
Appreciate that. Well, Mayor, after Dr. Newton and Speaker Burns, I don't really have anything left to talk about. Just an incredible legislative session. I want to thank Speaker Burns for the kind words, not only about myself, but about the greatest First Lady in the country, Marty Kemp, and it's an honor for her and I to be with Mayor Garnett Johnson here in Augusta, Richmond County today. I want to thank the commissioners and all of the city of Augusta folks for inviting us for our second year in a row.
Mayor, I want to also thank your beautiful bride, Tony, for her leadership and support, and we're just proud of your governing here in the city. You know, you said there were some good things to start the day out at 10 o'clock this morning with the club car groundbreaking. I just want to let you know, Mayor, I started my day long before 10 o'clock. I know. I imagine you did too, didn't you? All right, I just wanted to clarify that for everybody that the mayor was going to work before 10 o'clock. But we had a great morning out in Columbia County, and we're very excited to be here. And I just want to thank so many great partners that we have in the room with us today, and certainly want to thank the dean of the local delegation now, Mark Newton. He's a great leader on a lot of different issues, but also even better than that, he's a great person, and just cannot thank him and the local delegation enough for your leadership under the Gold Dome, and I just want to thank you all for being here. And echo also what the speaker said about one of my former floor leaders, Representative Jody Lott. We will miss you, but thank you for your service, Jody. We appreciate you. I also want to thank, I know our Attorney General's here this morning, and want to continue to thank Chris and his team for the great work they're going after street gangs, drug cartels, and also human traffickers in our state. Just appreciate him and our folks in law enforcement with the state-local partnership with GBI and a lot of other folks, local law enforcement. Also want to thank our Insurance Commissioner, John King, who's here this morning, that, as the speaker said, has been such a great partner in us lowering private sector health insurance costs, making sure that we have more access for hardworking Georgians, and just being a great leader in our state. And also, many people forget he chaired the COVID task force for me during those difficult days, Speaker, so we appreciate John being with us today. Also, just want to mention Lauren McDonald, one of my floor leaders, as the Speaker did. We appreciate him and the rest of the leadership in the General Assembly. I, too, we just want to thank Frank O'Connell from the Department of Revenue for being with us today. A lot of people don't realize this, but the Department of Revenue, I know a lot of people don't like the Department of Revenue because they collect taxes, but they also work with us on a daily basis on economic development deals, on our business environment, work with the General Assembly when we're doing things like cutting taxes, and they'll do a lot of work following up on the bills that I signed today. And they're a big part of our reason for being the #1 state in the country for business. So, Frank, thank you for your leadership. I also want to thank Commissioner Nunn and all the folks at the Department of Community Affairs. They are also such great partners on economic development, but a lot of other issues that we have dumped on their plate. And we had a great announcement yesterday that the Speaker and I had the honor of voting on earlier this week on our Rural Workforce Housing Fund, 3 new projects that we're working with local communities with grants, and Commissioner Nunn and his team are doing that, and we're just thankful for them. I also just want to thank, you know, the thing I like about the CSRA, and Mayor, we got to figure out what we're going to do next week, because, you know, I was here for the Wellstar groundbreaking, came for the golf tournament, then we were here in Columbia County this morning for the ribbon cutting club car. We signed some legislation today, so we got to start planning for next week. But I told Sue Parr, the president of the chamber here, how much I appreciated her going to Columbia County this morning, and Chairman Duncan and I and a lot of other people were out there. And this region really thinks like a region. And if a project's in one county versus the other, and that goes for surrounding counties like McDuffie and others that are either down the road, Burke County, or up the road, the partnership you all have, we noticed that at the state level. We saw it at the red carpet tour last week, and we saw it again this morning. So I just want to thank you guys for that. I want to thank all the chamber folks that are here, the Georgia Association Manufacturers, the representatives from GMA and ACCG. We got several tax commissioners here and members of the Georgia Association of Tax Officials, the members of the Georgia Association of Assessing Officials that the Speaker mentioned, the members of the Georgia Historic Trust for Historic Preservation, and the leaders from our Georgia Downtown Association. You know, just as I mentioned just a week ago, just a few days ago, really, we were gathered right here across the street at Augusta National with leaders from State and local governments rolling out the red carpet for job creators who are either already in our state or a lot of people from around the country and literally from around the world that are considering doing business here. And efforts like those have led to our great success, as the speaker and Dr. Newton mentioned. And the numbers speak for themselves. It's been incredible. Just in Augusta alone, we've welcomed 50 projects with state involvement since I took office just a little over 5 years ago, representing 2,500 jobs and almost $2 billion of investment. We are now coming off, because of our great relationships in the General Assembly, our business-friendly environment, and our policies in this state, 3 record-breaking years for economic development. And as the speaker said, we are not going to rest on our laurels. We have more work to do, because we know that when we grow our economy, we not only create generational opportunities for our citizens, no matter their zip code, but we also increase the ability to keep more money in the pockets of hardworking Georgians. And the bills that I will sign today do exactly that. That is thanks to our responsible, conservative approach to budgeting, that we'll be able to sign this legislation knowing that Georgia will still be financially sound no matter what economic fortunes are ahead of us in this state. Instead of following the lead of tax and spend DC politicians, we are prioritizing the services our citizens need and work hard to cut and not raise our taxes, because we realize Georgians know best how to spend their money a lot better than the government does. Each of the bills I sign today will also help hardworking Georgians fight through high grocery prices, high energy prices, and an inflationary environment that we have been under for several years now. Americans right now are having to spend $1,000 more each month than what they were doing 3 years ago for the same quality of life. I'm proud that we have such a great team that makes days like this possible. Chief among the measures that I'll sign today, as previously mentioned, is House Bill 1015, one of my administration's top priorities this session that we announced last December alongside Lieutenant Governor Jones and Speaker Burns. Carried in the House by my floor leader, Lauren McDonald, and floor leader, Bo Hatchett, in the Senate, this bill accelerates the largest state income tax cut in Georgia history. When I signed HB 1437 2 years ago, I signaled both our commitment to keeping more of your money in your pockets, but also maintaining our approach to smart conservative budgeting. The original bill provided for a step down in our income tax rate from 5.75% to just 4.99% over time, and if the economic conditions were met. With this legislation, we're accelerating that cut by another 10 basis points, bringing us immediately to a flat tax rate of just 5.39%. That is a cut of 36 basis points this year alone, and it represents a savings of $3 billion to our taxpayers over the next 10 years. And also like to remind people, that is in addition to the over $5 million that the General Assembly and I worked on to save our citizens in recent years through special income tax refunds, property tax relief, and as everyone remembers, a suspension of our state motor and diesel fuel tax. I'm also grateful to the leaders in the legislature and the team at the Office of Planning and Budget led by Director Rick Dunn, all of those who worked hard to make this legislation happen. The next bill I'll sign will be HB 1023, sponsored by Chairman Bruce Williamson in the House and carried by Chairman Chuck Hufstetler in the Senate. This legislation follows the lead of House Bill 1015 by cutting our corporate income tax to 5.39% for this tax year, ensuring that it matches the individual income tax. While we cut taxes for the people of our state, we also must ensure that we continue to attract jobs and investments to grow our economy and create more opportunity for all those who call Georgia home. This legislation, I believe, achieves that goal by helping to keep our state the #1 for business. Next, I'll sign House Bill 581, sponsored by Chairman Shaw Blackman and carried in the Senate by Chairman Chuck Hufstetler. This legislation provides comprehensive property tax revisions, as was mentioned earlier, and enables a constitutional amendment that will let counties across Georgia provide a statewide homestead valuation freeze. This limits the appreciation of property values to the inflation rate, helping prevent runaway property taxes and keeping Georgians in their houses. Next is House Bill 1021, sponsored by Representative Lauren Daniel and carried by Chairman Russ Goodman in the Senate. This bill, as the Speaker mentioned, increases the state's income tax dependent exemption by 33% and would allow each taxpayer to deduct $4,000 per dependent. That's a full $1,000 more than the current $3,000 per dependent. Faced with rising costs for all things from groceries to child care, this will provide meaningful relief for families fighting the negative effects and bad policies that we've seen come out of Washington, D.C. Finally, I'll sign SB 496, sponsored by Chairman Max Burns and carried by Representative Debbie Buckner, who's here with us today in the House. This bill extends the sunsets on 2 tax credits: the rehabilitation of historic homes and structures through 2029 and the rural zone revitalization credit through 2032. It also broadens the criteria for a home to be certified as historic so that more homes in Georgia can qualify to receive the rehabilitation tax credit. As we continue to experience rapid economic growth, especially in rural parts of our state, it is essential that we continue to allow people to live where they work. These existing tax credits have helped achieve that goal and will remain an important part of that in the years to come. In closing, I'd just like to remind people, all of these bills help keep money where it belongs, in the pockets of our hardworking families. Critics and cynical pundits will tell you they know how better to spend your money, but we know that is simply not true. Part of being good stewards of public funds is trusting our people to make their own decisions and seize opportunities we have worked hard to bring to their communities. So again, I want to thank all the local and state leaders here with us today, the associations and hardworking teams that have been part of this and have worked on this legislation, and of course the members of the General Assembly with their great leadership, like folks like Speaker John Burns, to continue to make Georgia the best state to live, work, and raise a family. Mayor, again, thanks for having us. We're going to move to the table and get these bills signed. Thank you all very much.